Shannon.
What's up, Amberita? How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Really good. You've had such an adventurous week this week.
Oh my goodness. I know. I still got my glasses on from being out in the sun. Disney World Adventure. And it's really interesting because it had always been a childhood manifestation, if you will, of mine. And then now, at 40-ish, here we are. And I'm living like a child. It's been really amazing. Obviously, we went to take our children, but we also got to practice embodying what it is to be a child, right? Because we're not thinking about home or business or right any of those things. We're just immersing ourselves in the moment and being in the moment and reminding ourselves of that and just having plain old fun. So it's been amazing. I know you're in California. Have you been to Disneyland?
I have, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm from Michigan. Michiganders love the dream in Michigan is always to go to Florida. It's not California because that's too far away. So we always
Yeah.
go to Florida. We always drive there for some reason, or at least we did when I was growing up. Everyone did. And maybe it was
Mhm.
because flights were more expensive, but it's what, yeah. So I've been there and it was amazing. I remember loving it. Epcot was really
Wow.
cool. Yeah, it's such a great place.
And I bet it's probably different because even like Disneyland, I used to go like every year as a kid, but I haven't been since I was probably like 12. Um, so I can only imagine like what it was like then versus now, right? Because different movies and different themes.
Yeah,
Um,
so
our
fun.
favorite is Star Wars. So
Of
there's a
course.
lot of you could actually go inside and it's a ride on the Millennium Falcon. So you see a full on the Millennium Falcon outside, like life size, and then you go inside, and then it's like a simulated ride. So it's like you feel like you're literally in the ship and you're driving it, and it's really freaking cool if you like Star Wars, if you're those Star Wars fanatics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, the rides there are amazing. I love them so much. But we were talking and you were saying that you were having a panic attack on one of
Oh,
them.
my goodness. Yeah, so I've always been the kind of person where, and as I'm thinking about this, I can understand now my awareness is. So I don't mind small spaces. Like you can put me in a closet, like whatever. It's more for me. It's more of who has control of me getting out, right?
Mm,
Like the closet door, as long as I can open it, I'm fine. I actually like to be in small spaces, right? It's cozy. But if it's like an airplane where like they shut the door and there's no opening it, right? That kind of scenario, that's what kind of gets me. So a lot of those rides where it's like simulated and stuff, and you're in the small space, and then it's like they open it and they close it, and I'm like, ugh. But anyways, the one that we're on actually is called the Tower of Terror, and it was simulated and it was also small. And then so my brain goes to like, okay, if there was an emergency, for instance, how would I get out of here? Right? Not a car, you can literally be on the freeway, you open the door and you jump out, right? Like you have the control of getting out if you want to, roll down the window, however it works. And I had this awareness that my nervous system was starting to go there because I had one thought and it was like, holy bleep, right? And then my awareness was like, okay, we want to go to what we want to see. We want to go to how we want to feel, like, you know what I mean? And then also remember that like fear and excitement are actually processed the same in the brain. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm
mhm.
so excited, right? And then the thought came again, holy bleep, right? And then again, and then it started to like override the rest. And I could literally like hear my chest pounding in my ear, like I can physically hear it and like feel it. And I was like, okay, whoa. And so I had to learn, and this all happened in like, I mean, it was like a minute, the rides are pretty short. And I thought, okay, how could we get ourselves out of this, right? If we're in control of our lives, personal creation, right? What can I do? Because I have had a panic attack before, and I know what that feels like, and I know how I even got there, right? It's
Yeah.
all sort of thought that spirals essentially. And so I started to do like little mini breathwork session, you know, and I literally I mean, lights are like turned off. It's like this haunted ride, you have, and I'm sitting there, right? I mean, the person probably next to me thought I was nuts, but I don't care. And I
Yeah.
did that, and I started to notice that like it started to lower and it didn't get to that point. And it's really interesting that you can be in the awareness of like, okay, you're right here, only a few thoughts, and we're gonna cycle all the way over here, or I can pivot and then we can get back over here. So that it was a very interesting dynamic. And then, like I said, in the fact that this all happened in like 45 seconds or something really, a short period of time. But that's, like you told me, like, that's the embodiment because most people, for instance, let's take, when women give birth, right? You take breathwork classes essentially, right? Like Lamaze
Right.
classes, call it, right? And you're like, yep, I got it. And then as soon as you're in that moment of the pain, all that goes out the window and you forget. And then they're like, hey, you got to breathe. And you're like, oh, that's right. Right. Meaning that most people, when you're in that fight or flight, your awareness goes out the window.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the moment when embodiment is so important. That actually right there.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that I was in that and I kind of worked myself through it. So it was very interesting experience. And so just having that awareness is like so huge.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And I love that. I mean, as we know, our breath is always with us, and people just don't, it's so important. Like breath work is such a beautiful practice. I mean, you can literally change your vibration, you can change your mood, you can change how you feel right now with just doing a minute, 30 seconds of breath work. And
Yeah.
there's so many great ones, box breathing, 3-6-7, like what 3-6-8, whatever you want to do. You can do alternate nostril breathing, which I love, was one of my favorites. It's just like they're so simple and they can literally change your life. And it's just so cool that you can play with your breath in that way. And it's just such a important tool to have when you can remember to do it when you're in fight or flight. And that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah, I will have to say there was a ride that I had the awareness of where I was going. This is a previous one. And I was like, I'm just getting off. So I got off the ride, but
Amazing.
and then the next time, right? Because in each moment, like we get to choose,
Yeah.
right? So that one, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and just say this for another time. But and then the moment came again, and then I got to choose something different. So yeah, and
That's
this
awesome.
is not this is not to tell everybody to go on, all these scary rides, but it's it's more of that awareness piece. And even with our children, like it's important too, because my son, we had went on, a couple rides and he's like, I'm scared. And I said, okay, number one, I was like, let's change it from I am scared to like there's some fear, right? Because now you're not identifying with the I am.
Right.
Now we're just saying like there's some fear, there's some, and then
Yeah.
also like what part of it scares you, right? Like I had identified that for me, like I'm not claustrophobic. First of all, I wouldn't identify myself with that anyways, but like it's not about the small spaces, it's about the control of can I get out,
Right.
right? So understanding that was really interesting. And so just asking him these questions like, okay, what part of this, right, are you having some kind of like resistance on, which is fine, right? um
Hmm.
but that like bringing about that awareness because it is so huge.
Yeah.
And there's so many people, especially adults, that are unaware, and so it's really important to kind of to hone in on that as children. um
Absolutely. Well, I
yeah.
think you're also a great example of getting off the ride. Like, I don't think people do that enough. They'll just stay on because they don't want to look foolish, or they don't take care of themselves, they don't put themselves first, and they're like, oh, I'll be so embarrassed to get off. Maybe I will ignore how I feel, and then they're just miserable the whole time they're going through it, and then they don't feel good afterwards because they didn't stick up for themselves. They didn't, it wasn't. It's such an act of self-love when you can not care about what you look like when you're just taking care of yourself. That's so important too. That's a great example.
Yeah, that is a great point because I mean adults do it too, but as children, like we're very conditioned like from society to go along with what everybody else is doing, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we grew up, that's how we were raised, and even that's how we used to parent, like what is everybody else doing? And now I'm like, I
Right.
don't care. It's more about what do I want to do, right? How do I want to be in this world? So shifting that to like, hey, we may be the only freaking ones that wait for an hour and go all the way up to the line and go, just kidding.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm okay with that. In fact,
Yeah.
they're actually equipped for that. Like they are like, yep, right here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's yeah, that's huge. Yeah, self-care and not caring what other people think. In fact, you may actually be helping somebody because maybe by you leaving, the person
Hmm.
behind you was like, oh, sweet. I was
Right.
wondering if I could hop off too. You know what I
Right.
mean? Kind of thing. So when you're stepping in your authenticity and your light of whatever it may be, that may actually help somebody else as well. So
That's what I was thinking about when you were saying that you were doing the breath work on the ride and the
mm,
person next to you might thought you're crazy. I was like, well, maybe that other person is also not like kind of scared. And they were like,
yeah,
maybe that helped them as well, like
yeah.
to be like, oh, breathe, breathe. We forget to breathe a lot.
Yes. And in
Yeah.
fact, even just our vibration, like, maybe she didn't hear me breathing or whatever, but just my vibration, the
Yeah.
fact that I was changing mine
Yes.
could actually affect her. So, because
Yeah.
we are, um, directly influencing others as much as
Yes.
we may not think that we are, and we may not even see it. I'm not gonna, I don't have a relationship with this person. I'm probably never gonna see her again, but
Right.
um, we're still affecting others by our
Absolutely.
awareness and our vibrations. So.
Absolutely. And I like too that you said to your son when he said, well, I'm scared. And you said, no, how would you say, no, you feel scared? Would you say, I just like
There
that.
is some fear.
Yeah, because now we had Yuki's class yesterday about being God, and we're working on the I am right now. And someone even asked, like, someone said, well, I am frustrated. He's like, but who's the I that's frustrated? No, I
Yeah.
am feeling frustrated. I
Yeah.
feel that. I am not frustrated. It's who's
Exactly.
the I that is talking, it's like, right. And
Exactly.
so we're diving deep into that, which I really like. So this week we're working on when a thought comes up of like I am, to like stop and pause and like who is the I am that is saying this,
Hmm.
and which I really like. And then also it also ties into the class I'm going to do, my vibration class next Tuesday. We're
Yeah.
working on the sacral chakra, which is all about I am, and I'm
Mm.
so excited. This is one of my favorite places to work. It's so empowering. It's so there were so many beautiful things, and it's just like I can't wait to do all these amazing practices just to really cleanse the sacral chakra, to boost your confidence, to really boost your connection with yourself and realize how powerful you are. And we forget that a lot of times, like especially when we're going through something negative or we're sad or these things, we forget how powerful we are. And like it's just a little part of us that may be sad, but I am so many things. And even Yuki said one of the things like if we don't have our identity or our memories, who are we? And I
Mm.
love that too, because, and we're working on that this week as well, because it's true. It's like I had that like epiphany last December. He did a workshop, and that's all when all of a sudden it all clicked for me that like I am not Shannon. I am not I am not a sound healer. I am not like I'm not a cat mom. I have these things, but I am love. I am peace. I am kindness. I am compassion. And that's who we really are. And it's like very much connecting to your soul, which is so important and not about what we have or the accomplishments we've done. Those are all great and wonderful for sure. But that's not who we really are. We are all these, our spirit. We're in spirit, right? All the time. And it's really powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And that's also a good prompt, like the fact, like asking yourself, am I aware? Like that simple prompt, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's an identity that we have and we don't even realize it. So then when we say, like you said, who's frustrated, then that it's like taking a step back, right? Because
Right.
when you're saying I am, now you're in that, you're in the
Yeah.
circle, you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
can't really see outside of it. So then when you literally take a step back and you're like, okay, whoa. And then you're like, there's some frustration, there's some fear, right? Then you can look
Yeah.
at it over there of like, okay,
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of even had a feeling that my son was feeling the the fear because I was, but
Right.
I also didn't want to like put that on him or like say that because
Mhm.
then power of suggestion and all that. But it was definitely interesting. But um, yeah. Okay, so sacral chakra. So I always get that one and the solar plexus mixed up. I'm gonna be honest.
Did I say sacral? Oh my God, I'm sorry. We've been
No,
working on
you're
the
good.
sacral. Yeah, we're doing solar plexus. Oh my God, people, solar
Okay.
plexus. Sorry.
See, I had
God, I'm
it
sorry. We've
perfect.
been working on the sacral chakra the last few weeks. Oh my God, sorry. I've been working on my emotions for the last. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Wow.
You're good.
I need more coffee. Um.
So
Wow.
solar plexus is
Yeah.
located where?
Right here.
Okay.
Right here.
So
This
it's
is your.
above the belly button. Okay.
It's right above the belly button, right below, like right around the rib area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right here. This is your confidence. This is your.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's so exciting. And that's where your a lot of your identity comes from, is from this chakra, which is really exciting. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll
I'm
be
gonna,
excited to do that and work through that. It's
yeah.
definitely going to be expansive. I mean, I just love working on the chakras in general, but also just
Mhm.
just grounding.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
yeah. I mean, that's so important too. That's why I love that Donna Eden energy work, that routine that I was doing some of it in the last class. It's so important because you start with grounding and then you work on all these other chakras that these exercises that help. And of course, having a root chakra is so important. That's really,
Yeah.
really really solid, of course, because that's like the base of our chakra system. But working on the sacral chakra the last few weeks has been really great. I mean, that's our emotions and letting emotions flow. I can't believe how I've really realized and come to terms with, or I've been able to like not get upset at my emotions. I don't like try to push them away. I sit with them and then I recognize them. And if I'm sad, if I'm like crying or I'm sad about, my what's happening in my life or what has happened this summer, I it's really cool because I just sit with it and I just tell there's that it's not all of me that's sad. There's a part of me, right, that's still sad. And so it's like I just sit with myself and I just tell myself, like, I love you, Shannon. I got you. Like, I'm here for you. You can be
Mhm.
sad. And I allow myself to be sad. And I sit with that emotion and then it just flows out of me instead of getting stuck in me like how it had all summer. And then I'm in it all day. It's like, this
Mhm.
isn't all of me. This is just a part of me that is still this. Like, so it's really cool to have this awareness and to work on. I mean, just working on the chakras are so every time we work on a chakra, I'm like, oh, I got to work on this for the rest of my life. Like they're all so important, right? And it's just really cool to to have this to have this time and to learn this education of it. It's just really powerful.
Yeah. Well, that's the continuing unfoldment, right? Because
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
never, contrary to what most of society believes, it's never this attainment of perfection or,
Right.
what I mean, it's just a continual unfoldment of the awareness, right? So that's pretty much what it is, and that's all we can do. And we're here for the ride, of this
Yeah.
experience, the human
As
experience.
Abraham Hicks says, you're never going to get it done. I mean, you just can't. You're never going to get it done because it's always continue. You're eternal.
Exactly.
It's just always flowing. There's always more to learn. There's always more to do, to go inside and dive deeper into yourself. And there's so many, yeah, you just can't, you're never going to get it done. And not in a bad way. It's just like, there's always
Right, right.
something more to continue with the learning and to really help yourself. Yeah, it's really cool. I
Yeah,
love it.
absolutely. I love it. So I'm excited. So next Tuesday will be your class,
Yeah.
solar plexus.
Yes.
Um, I love it. And then every Wednesday, of course, Divine Essence book study group. We're on Love Money, Money Loves You, which is very, very powerful. Obviously, embodiment is the key to everything because with it, you're reading a manual about riding a bike. Never gonna ride a bike unless you actually get on the damn thing. So
Awesome.
key to it all. This has been great, and we will all see you very soon.
Yes. See you later. Bye.
Bye.